Gamers Global.
Different characters and franchises are representatives of particular games or eras in video gaming history, and for that reason they can lay claim to being legitimate cultural icons just as any famous movie or television character can. My name is Aimbot, and today I will be counting off the top 10 most iconic video game characters of all time. Out of hundreds of contenders, we have chosen the 10 most popular and influential video game characters who have been idols to many gamers around the world. Number 10. Kicking off the list is the hot and badass bounty hunter from the Metroid series. As a woman in a male-dominated role, Samus has been widely considered a breakthrough for female characters in video games. Samus' reveal in the original Metroid was named as the greatest twist in video games by Game Informer in 2007. Super Metroid's Player's Guide describes Samus as a strong muscular woman who is 6'3" in height and weighs 198 pounds without her armor. She is mostly seen inside the power suit, a powered exoskeleton which protects her from most dangers she encounters and can be enhanced by power-ups collected during gameplay. Number 9. Mr. Freeman. The silent and mysterious protagonist of the Half-Life series, indisputably the greatest single-player first-person shooters ever made, has been blasting and crowbar smashing his way into our hearts since 1998. Gordon Freeman's character is a theoretical physicist who must transform himself into a gun-toting badass to save the world after he's involved in an experiment that accidentally opens a trans-dimensional portal that monsters come spilling through. There are no cutscenes or dialogue involving Freeman in Half-Life. The player experiences everything through Gordon's eyes, making him the ultimate blank slate. Regardless, he's still become the modern face of PC gaming and is beloved by fans everywhere. Number 8. Many don't believe that video gaming can offer an amazing and compelling storyline. To those who don't believe, look no further than the Metal Gear Solid franchise. Metal Gear Solid's epic story of Cold War politics, military espionage, and the futurization of modern-like warfare showed a mature and thought-provoking story for gamers. Solid Snake, the protagonist, is part spy, part special ops soldier, and part mercenary. Stealth and epic cutscenes are the visions one sees when thinking about Solid Snake in the Metal Gear franchise. The tagline for the series, Tactical Espionage Action, is perfectly descriptive of the franchise that Solid Snake represents. Number 7. In the prehistoric times when Nintendo and Sega were the two big names in the industry, Nintendo had many familiar Nintendo stars, while Sega largely focused on one character as the mascot of the brand. That character was Sonic the Hedgehog. The wildly popular 2D platforming game catapulted the world's most beloved blue ball of speed into video gaming history. The Sonic franchise was, and remains to be, what Super Mario is for Nintendo. Since his beginning in 1991, his games have sold 80 million copies, created a TV show spin-off, and released various kinds of merchandise. The tension between Nintendo and Sega has eased since Sega stopped making consoles largely due to the failure of the Dreamcast, but Sonic the Hedgehog will still forever be Sega's work of art. Number 6. Lara Croft was the first female video game star not to be a damsel in distress like so many others. She is the first lady of video games and the star of the beloved Tomb Raider franchise. She has gone on to become one of the most recognizable video game characters of all time, and has shown many that girls can be as badass as men. There were 2 movies produced about the adventures of Lara Croft, portrayed by Angelina Jolie, and she has been renowned as one of the most important video game characters ever, breaking the unspoken gender barriers in video games where the star of all the action was usually a male. She remains the star of the Tomb Raider series, so gamers, especially of the male crowd, can enjoy her adventures for years to come. Number 5. During the early years of the Xbox, before it became the great system it is today, the Xbox was in need of a savior. Nintendo had its legendary cast of characters, Sony had developed a handful of young franchises to build off during the PS1 years, but Microsoft had no exclusive franchise to build on, until Master Chief arrived. The hero of Halo brought Microsoft a lot of success and became the unofficial mascot of the Xbox. The success Master Chief has given to Microsoft will truly never be forgotten. Number 4. Let's take a trip back in time to an arcade, with the first ever Pac-Man machine in the corner. The first Pac-Man machine was produced in 1980, and its mascot went on to become a cultural icon of that decade. Pac-Man was so ridiculously popular that by the 1990s it had grossed an estimated $2.5 billion in quarters, which is 10 billion quarters. Pac-Man went on to become an icon of video game culture during the 1980s, and a wide variety of Pac-Man merchandise was marketed with the character's image, from t-shirts and toys, to handheld video game imitations, and even specially shaped pasta. There also was an animated TV series produced by Hanna-Barbera, which aired on ABC from 1982 to 1983. Pac-Man, the hungry yellow dot, has been a great importance to gaming history and will never in a million years be forgotten. Number 3. No, he's not Zelda. Although the star of the Zelda franchise may not have his name up there in the title, there's no one else gamers associate with the franchise more than our lovable, silent protagonist, Link. He debuted in the very first game in the franchise, The Legend of Zelda, in 1986, and hasn't looked back since. He has saved the world and the princess, many times since, and seems destined to keep battling his arch-nemesis Ganon, over and over again throughout various incarnations of the Zelda world. In 2012, Games Radar ranked this personification of what a hero is as number 1 most memorable, influential, and badass protagonist in games. Link proved to be a popular guest character in the other non-Zelda series as well. In 2008, IGN ranked him as the best bonus character in the Soul Calibur series, while Game Daily ranked him first on the list of top 10 Smash Bros. Characters. He's one of Nintendo's most popular stars, and the Zelda franchise is arguably Nintendo's very best. Number 2. The adorable yellow electric Pokémon Pikachu climbed into the hearts of gamers in 1996, and became an immediate star and eventually an icon. Pikachu, however, is not only just a video game icon, he is also a television icon. The Pokémon franchise that Nintendo created in the mid-90s went to become a global phenomenon that was franchised into a popular kids show, several movies, and most importantly, millions and millions of games sold. In total, the Pokémon franchise has sold over 200 million copies of games, the second most of any video game franchise in history. Fast forward to today and you can ask anyone who was a kid in the late 90s, what he or she was doing in his or her spare time. We are willing to bet the answer is, playing Pokémon. Before we get to our first pick, let's take a look at this list's honorable mentions. Number 1. Who else could claim the number 1 spot except for the red Italian plumber who jumped into this world in 1981, originally being the protagonist in the first Donkey Kong game. Mario went on to star in his own video game or franchise called Super Mario Bros., which today is arguably the greatest franchise ever. The famous Italian-American plumber from New York City has been Nintendo's pride, glory, and mascot since 1983, and has gone on to become the most recognizable character in all of video gaming. Mario and all of his friends, his brother Luigi, Princess Peach, Wario, Waluigi, and Yoshi have all gone on to be household names, all thanks to the multiple generation of players. The legacy Mario has made will live on forever, and he will always have a special place in our hearts. No matter what the future of gaming will be like, one thing is for certain, our Italian plumber will be there, waiting to bring joy to our hearts once more. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to Gamers Global. Have a pleasant day.